NFL playoffs, wild card round coming up here this weekend. Both of those teams right there on their jerseys are playing this upcoming weekend in NFL wild card weekend. I cannot relate. I've only been able to relate one time in my life that I can remember where we played wild card round, and that was it after that point. So first things first, actually, before we preview some of these matchups for the wild card this week, and we'll go over what we saw last week, because there were still some very big matchups with some very big implications from the NFL this past week. So first things first, man. I'll get us started off. We'll start off with a banger. You see Dom's got the jersey on right now. You see Dom's got the big hat on right now. And you know Jeremiah's a Steelers fan as well.
It's in the background. It's on the door. It's in the background.
He said, before we started the podcast, I told him, I said, Jeremiah, man, get your Steelers jersey on. He said, I'm still a Jaguars fan. So I'm going to respect that, Jerry. But still, come on, man. You got it. That Steelers, you know that's your number one.
And I know, don't get me wrong, I know. Dom does it for me, though. I don't have the big hat. I can't compete with
He's
Dom.
throwing his arms up.
There's nothing that I can do. So, respect to him. I'm going to, not try to compete because I can't. You feel me?
I can't. All right. So this matchup that we'll talk about here, as we said, Ravens and Steelers, man. That was the last game of last week. It was Sunday night football. Lights were bright I'm still going to call it Heinz Field. I'm not calling it Acrisure Stadium. I don't care. Lights were bright at Heinz Field. Steelers were down, 10 points with 6 minutes left. Come back in that game with some Aaron Rodgers action. End up on top, 26-24, thanks to Tyler Loop and his terrible right foot in the clutch, apparently. That game, I'm going to let y'all, you know what I do with the Steelers games. I let y'all take it over, you know what I mean? I was kind of asleep for work, I'm not going to lie, so I didn't see all the cinema that everybody was witnessing from that game, but it was vintage Rodgers time, was it not, fellas?
Yes, it was.
It was a sight. It was a beautiful sight to be seen. I'm not even going to lie. Just watching him operate, especially being down to the receivers we were down to, and he's still making big plays, keeping us in the game. I mean, craziest part, that game was 13-10, I want to say, going into the fourth quarter, and it ended 26-24. So, I mean, they were just scoring left and right. Yeah, the biggest takeaway I had is, aside from, just being on the edge of my seat the entire game and emotions up and down. I'm like, oh, we're going to win. And then they score. And now we're going to lose. And then we're going to win. Crazy. But the Steelers defense really has to get it together, because that was an embarrassing performance to let Zay Flowers have two massive plays where there was not a defender within 10 or 15 yards of bro. If they're going to compete, that's something that cannot happen. But that was a big game, and yeah, like you said, Aaron Rodgers, he told Calvin Austin in the huddle, he said, tell me what you want. And he said, I don't know. He's like, just go cook them. Just go cook them. And that's
cook them. Big cow.
Play. And then, yeah, man, the Boswell missed extra point and all of it, bro. And then they even took it up to half field on the kick return, and I'm just like, I thought we lost that game, man.
Heart was pounding out your chest, huh?
Crazy.
Yeah.
We in the playoffs.
And yeah. Right, so before Jerry gives his take as well, that game was huge because it was for the 1 seed in the AFC North and the 4 seed in the AFC playoffs. Winner of that game, they were going to the playoffs. Loser of that game, they're going to Cancun in a couple of days here. So Steelers not going to Cancun. And again, we'll talk about who they're playing here in this next matchup. But Jerry, what'd you see in that football game, man?
Yeah. No, that football game also decided some fates of, head coaches, too.
Man, Tyler Loop made Harbaugh lose his job.
Well, it wasn't just Tyler Loop, but, it mainly Tyler Loop. But from the start to the finish of the game, Aaron Rodgers played great. I mean, first half, Aaron Rodgers is going to protect the ball, not going to try to do too much. Offense really wasn't that productive. But the reason our defense was bad was because the two plays Zay Flowers was open. They were running a cover zero. Cover zero means that you're blitzing everybody that you're not putting in coverage, and you're manning up everybody else along the board. Both times, the person that had Zay Flowers went to somebody else. miscommunication, whatever you want to call it, that's horrible, especially in a game like that. So you have them wide open. Jalen Ramsey's playing, middle of the field. He's playing spy. So of course you got to play spy against Lamar Jackson. Of course, if you don't, he's going to kill you. So we did that. We played horribly on the back end. We played good on the front end. Cam Hayward and T.J. Watt had their moments, but in the middle of the game, Cam Hayward took it over. Connor Hayward had that sneak, the real brotherly shove. Got one brother pushing another into the end zone, so it was great. The offense played well. DK's coming back. We're going to see what's happening. But the kicks, there were two opportunities. One, of course, Chris Boswell missed the extra point that kept the game to 2. You can't have a Steelers win without roller coasters up and down emotions like crazy. And there was also at the end of the first half, you have a play with 2 seconds left on the goal line. Of course, you want to try to get a touchdown. You also have a chance to get 3 points and just go into halftime with some extra motivation. But you run a play, horrible play design in my opinion.
Terrible.
Goes behind the line, doesn't get there, so you don't even get 3. You go into the halftime without getting more points. So I think that game, crucial, but we got there. Mike Tomlin's staying for a little bit, so yeah.
Until next week, he's up out. I'm just kidding.
He'll stay.
Cam Hayward, that might have been the best game of his career, and that's a crazy thing to say for the career he's had. But he was just lights out.
It was just a stretch of plays, and I know we got to go to the next game, but it was just a stretch of plays where he had a batted ball down. He had plenty of tackles. He disrupted the running game. He took Derrick Henry on one-on-one and just put him down for a 1-yard gain. So Cam Hayward at 36, 37 still ball.
Also, for all the real ones who follow the Instagram, I'm giving one quick shout out before we go to the next game. We said Kenneth Gainwell, one of the most surprising players this season, named Steelers team MVP before that game, and then led the team in receiving yards that game. 8 catches for 64 yards for Kenneth Gainwell. Derrick Henry, 20 carries for 126 yards. He kind of gassed y'all a little bit, but he didn't bring home the W. Zay Flowers, 4 catches, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Aaron Rodgers, 300 yards and a touchdown for Mr. Vintage Rodgers. And Lamar, 3 touchdowns as well for him on the day. The next game as well from last week that had huge playoff implications. This one had even bigger implications, massive. It was the Seahawks versus the 49ers. That game was for the overall 1 seed in the NFC as well as the division title in the NFC West. They got a stacked division over there. Niners, Rams, Seahawks, all those guys over there. And then the Seahawks came on top in this one, and that was an absolutely huge game for the Seahawks. Only 13-3, not like a lot of points were scored, but the Seahawks kind of just dominated that game from start to finish. They played it at their own pace. Sam Darnold, nothing too crazy for him, 200 yards. No picks, no touchdown. Nobody threw a passing touchdown in that game on either side of the ball. And then as well, again, not too crazy of a big game for stats-wise, but I think that was huge seeing the Seahawks. They've kind of been up and down this year a little bit, and still, they're 14-3. I'm not saying that they ever were a bad.
Their offense has been up and down.
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So it was huge as well that when the offense hasn't been playing well for them, defense has stepped up big time, and this was kind of just another one of those games where, like I said, Seahawks kind of just controlled the pace and dominated the football game.
Yeah, that was there was not a lot going on in that game. Christian McCaffrey got pretty much completely and that's I mean at this point was Kittle I think he did play actually.
He played.
Okay. So I was gonna say other than those and their offense hasn't been too great. I know Jawan Jennings has showed up every once in a while. Ricky Pearsall has been really inconsistent, but the offense is going to have to do much better if they're going to want to win a game in the playoffs. But like you said, I mean, that Seattle defense is impressive, and that is what has gotten them as far as they've gone. And it is to be seen whether or not Sam Darnold can perform in the playoffs and push them farther, because they're going to need more than 13 points as well if they're going to want to win some games. So
the other thing, too, Darnold, I actually talked about this the other day with one of my coworkers at work. Sam Darnold's only had one chance to prove what he can do in the playoffs. And he pooped the bed the one chance he had to show what he did do in the playoffs. But I personally think until we see more games from Sam Darnold, I'm not going to say he sucks in the playoffs yet. Because first playoff game, that's tough. You know what I mean? They sent the absolute house at him that game. He clearly was kind of scared, but one game, I'm not going to give you the you're not good in the playoffs yet.
Right.
Yeah. I think the Seahawks have, a bigger chance to win because of everybody else around Sam Darnold. The thing about Sam Darnold in Minnesota, and it looks exactly like how it was last year in Minnesota when he was cooking at the end of the season, had a great end of the season record. But they have two great running backs in Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. And we've been talking about them for a little bit. But the fact that you have a tandem like that, you don't necessarily have to control the game by throwing the ball the entire game. You can hand the ball off 20, 30 times, chew the clock, make sure that whoever you're playing doesn't get enough momentum on offense. And then you know that their offense is going to struggle because the defense is so great. Defense has an amazing front seven. Their back four, two safeties and two cornerbacks is amazing. Amazing, fast, big, strong. They're physical corners. You don't really have any holes on the defense, and your only worry is that Sam Darnold's going to throw 3-4 picks, like he's prone to do in big games. But as long as you don't do that, and Sam Darnold is a game manager, like a true game manager, which he should be, they're going to be dangerous and, might come out the NFC. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else got a real shot at beating them.
They've looked really, really good this year. One of the last games that matter here, this was kind of a funny situation. We had Bucks versus the Panthers. Now, we've talked about this for the last couple weeks and kind of followed their journey at who's going to win the NFC South. And they played 2 of the last 3 weeks. I think, who won before this last matchup that they just played last week?
The Panthers won the first one.
Panthers won the first one. Okay. So this game, the Panthers won, and they were guaranteed to be in if they did win this football game, but they did not. It was 16-14 Buccaneers, and again, that was kind of a situation, I feel like, where based on the pace of the game and everything, the score really was a lot closer than it kind of felt in the game. The Buccaneers always had the lead throughout the entire game up until the only time where it really felt like the Panthers had life during that game was a little bit during the second quarter, going into halftime, and then towards the end of the game, Panthers got a touchdown to make it a 2-point game, but they were giving the ball back to the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers just kind of ran it out. 16-14 was the final score of that game. Buccaneers win. So after that game happens, they both have a tied record, and it came down to a tiebreaker between the Falcons and the Saints.
Crazy word.
And then it was the situation. It was if the Falcons won.
If the Falcons won, the Carolina Panthers would be in, which happened.
Exactly.
They were down the entire game, too. It was so funny.
And then, yeah, exactly. Did you guys see the video of Baker Mayfield watching at home, stressing out big time, watching the game as a fan? His wife was filming him watching the game. She's like, man, I haven't seen Baker this stressed watching a football game ever. But right, Falcons, they ended up winning that football game. So the Panthers, they are going to the NFL playoffs. That was also for the division title for the NFC South, and then the 4 seed in the NFC. I think this might be the only time I've ever seen a top 4 seed in the playoffs have a negative record.
No, it happened a couple of years ago. With, it was either Washington, either Washington or the Eagles.
It was Washington, but they had Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, they were like 8-9 too or something like that.
Taylor Heineke stepped in and balled out too.
He balled out in the playoffs too. Yeah,
he did his thing
against Tom Brady.
Dude, he was balling, man. He was balling. That game, like I said, Buccaneers kind of controlled the pace a little bit. I don't know if you guys tuned into that game, but again, kind of just another one of those games. There wasn't that much going on. Your guys' team, the Steelers, they definitely had the most entertaining game of all of these ones that were pivotal.
Yes. The one thing I will say too is I was reading about this. It's the Falcons. If they would have won one more game throughout the season, that would have been their playoff clinching game. So that's kind of funny how that worked out. They clinched the playoffs for someone else when they beat the Jets. The Jets have 2 wins. Then they would have been in the playoffs.
They have 3. They have 3 wins.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, right.
Hey, chill.
Don't disrespect.
Put some respect on their name.
You're right, man. 0. They got this many picks, though.
Hey, I brought it up a couple weeks ago, and ended the season with still 0. Yeah. That's crazy.
No, for real though, how did the Jets have 0 interceptions on the entire season?
History. The NFL has been around for almost 100 years.
Great Right, they were even doing this back in the day when they threw 5 times a game.
Like,
oh God, that's
Aaron
so
Glenn
true.
is supposed to be a defensive coach. You hire a defensive coach and get 0 interceptions in a season.
Even when they, like Dom just said, even when in the 1930s they were passing the ball 4 times a game, there still was never a team that had 0 interceptions.
Insane.
All right, so those were the games that mattered as well from this last week. The games that, do matter now, this current week, after we release this video here for you guys. There's tons of great playoff matchups going on here this week for the wild card. So first things first, let's talk about Rams versus the Panthers. So the Panthers actually are going to be at home in this matchup, despite the Rams having 4 more wins than they had this season. I personally feel like I think the Rams are going to dominate that football game. But I just want to see Bryce Young do well, man. I want to see Bryce Young have a good start to his playoff NFL career, have a good game. But honestly, for me, man, I see Rams domination that game. I think they might win by 2 touchdowns kind of thing, somewhere between that kind of 14-21 kind of range. But what do y'all think you'll see in that football game?
I don't really see the Panthers winning, but I will tell you, when Bryce's back is against the wall, that's when he performs the best. So we'll see what happens.
You're shaking your head.
I don't see Bryce going out without a fight. So I do think the Rams will win. I think it'll be closer to the 10-point range. I think the 10-point spread is about perfect. So I would say the Rams probably win that about by 10 or so.
Y'all got no faith in the Panthers, bruh.
I got some faith.
No, see, the thing about it, I don't think the Panthers can win either, but I was talking to my brother about it a little bit earlier. My brother's a Panthers fan, and he says that, their home field advantage is dope, which, I honestly do think Panthers fans are loyal and can pack out a crowd, especially since they don't usually get to the playoffs often. So I think it'll be a great home field advantage. I think Bryce Young is going to ball out. I don't think they're going to win. I think it's going to be closer. I think the fourth quarter is going to happen, and it might be like a 7-point game or a 3-point game or something like that. And then it might be like a 7 to 10-point victory for the Rams. They're getting Devontae Adams back, which Devontae Adams with Puka and everybody else in the Rams squad. It's
disgusting.
Exactly. You can't really do much. So it's going to be closer. In my opinion, it's going to be closer to what you guys think. I think that 10-point spread is insane.
All right, man. We know what Jerry, he's dropping some subtle hints right now for y'all for a little bit later, man. But little sprinkle in there, man. Little sprinkle. I do think, the Panthers have beat the Rams this year. You know what I mean? They beat them last time the Rams came to the crib. I personally feel like, though, that's a little bit more motivation for the Rams. You know what I mean? I feel like the Rams might think the Panthers should have never had him in the first place. Come out with a little bit more ferocity this time around, a little bit more oomph, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm excited, though. Like I said, I'm really excited to see how Bryce Young does in his first playoff game. Congrats to the Carolina Panthers. Everybody kind of expected the Rams to be here in this position in the NFL playoffs. Not too many people expected the Panthers to be there in this position. So, shout out to the Carolina Panthers.
Too, real quick. You were this close to saying that they were going to win the division at the beginning. When we were doing the divisional picks, you're like, I want to take the Panthers.
Wow, he did. I remember that.
Wow. I was. I took the Buccaneers when we did these at the beginning of the year.
Did.
But I was on FaceTime with
balls.
I don't know if everybody was there, but I was on FaceTime with at least Dom, and I don't know if Jerry was there too, but yeah.
I think I was there.
I was going to say, I think he was too.
I was there. No, I called that out, bro. I was this close. This next game, too, I'm really excited about this one. Who doesn't love to see rivals, actual rivals, play in the playoffs in the wild card round? This is personally one of the most excited, I am for any of the games going on this weekend, even though neither of them is, really looked at as true contenders at the moment. I'm still excited to see it. We got the Packers of Green Bay rolling into Chicago to take on the Chicago Bears. Now, I think the last 4 matchups that they've played, dating back to last season, each and every game has been decided on the last play, the very last play of the game.
Really?
That's crazy.
Right, dating back to last year. So they're set to have an absolute war there at Soldier Field. And I think the Packers are they? I think they might be 1.5 point underdogs, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're 1.5 point underdogs. So Vegas knows, all these games have been incredibly close too. The story for me for this game, I think the Packers have kind of been spiraling a little bit, but at the same time, the Bears have just been eking out tons of one-score victories this year. We've been talking about this all year long, how the Bears just keep eking games out just little by little. I honestly don't know who's going to win this football game. The Packers haven't looked amazing, but clearly those two teams just have wars whenever they play to the point where it's just so hard to make a definitive decision on who I think is going to win.
Well, I'll give you a definitive decision. I got the Bears in this one. Like you said, Packers been spiraling. Give me Ben Johnson calling plays in a playoff setting, and that's all I really need to see. I think the Bears' offense has been really good this year. The Bears' defense has been a little up and down, but they have a lot of good players on the defense. They just got to put it together at the right time. But I will take the Bears in this one personally.
The Bears lead the league in forced turnovers, and I don't care how bad they play at times. That stat right there alone wins you a lot of those one-score
games. It does,
right?
for sure.
You steal a possession, and then their running backs have been insane.
Wild.
Real. Have
True.
either of you heard of Monungai?
Yes.
Of course, bro.
Before the season.
Before the season, I learned about him from Fantasy Sleeper, like random articles that were like, hey, just watch out for this guy. He might be something. But I only heard a little bit about Monungai preseason.
This guy might be something behind two running backs and all of a sudden has games of 125 and 150 yards rushing.
He's a beast, bro.
When you have Caleb Williams, and I get it, Caleb Williams has his mistakes and stuff like that, and he didn't have the best year. Sam Darnold in Seattle, he doesn't have to have the best stats. He doesn't have to control the game because you have two great running backs who can put up, obviously, 125 each. It's just insane. And then the Packers defense, like you guys pointed out, it's just been spiraling out of control without Micah. And you signed Trayvon Diggs. I don't know how much that helps you on the back end, but...
Well, I didn't even see that they signed him. I'm not gonna...
Yes, they signed Trayvon Diggs, and it's a weird signing because I don't really see how that helps your defense out when your defense is worse. Their worst skill is run defense. Trayvon Diggs does not tackle well.
Trayvon Diggs might make their worst skill pass defense by himself.
He might get cooked. Fight on a devil move here and there. You never know.
He might change the whole worst point of the defense on his own accord, bro.
Caleb might have 400 messing around with him, bro.
just target Diggs, bro, and I'm not talking Stephon. I'm talking Trayvon. So that, I will say, I think the more likely team, to win this football game is the Chicago Bears. Like Dom said, Ben Johnson, great play call. The offense has been great for the Bears this season. The defense, as Jeremiah said, has been stellar as well. And they have home field advantage. But the only reason, like I said, where I'm like, I don't know, is just, we know the Packers been giving the Bears wars since we were born. Since the guy on Dom's jersey was playing for the Packers.
Your discount double check to put him to bed every time. Man, he owned the Bears for sure.
I still own you. That's honestly one of my favorite clips of all time. Even though, I still love Rodgers because he went to my dad's alma mater. So no matter where Aaron Rodgers plays, I still always got some love for Aaron Rodgers. Next game as well, we got Bills versus the Jaguars. I am really excited about Bills Jaguars. My entire opinion of the Jaguars has completely flipped on its head. Completely. I hated the Jaguars for probably about 14 straight weeks.
It was like
legitimately the vast majority of the NFL season.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got them.
We got them. We got them. And now I have tons of belief in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like I said, it completely flipped. I think their defense is phenomenal. I think T-Law has looked absolutely incredible these last few weeks. I think even without Travis Hunter, their receiving room has still stepped up. BTJ has been a little bit disappointing this year, but he still steps up on occasion with the big play when you need it. Parker Washington can have some big games. Jacoby Myers has been very consistent. And it helps out the Jaguars in this case as well. I mean, they're playing this playoff game at home. You know, I really think the vibe of the Jaguars has really changed. But guess what? I'm taking the Buffalo Bills. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills in this road matchup still. Not to say I'm not hating on the Jaguars, okay? I just gave them tons of love. Tons of love.
It's masked love. You can't say that and then go with other teams.
One team has Joshua Allen. One team has Joshua Allen. That's all that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, fellas. I'm sorry.
I mean, go ahead, Dom. Oh my gosh.
I don't hate it too much, but I will. I got the squad. I got the Jags squad, man.
Let me say too, I want the Jags to win. I hope the Jags win.
I will take the Jaguars in this game. I think that they've just been so hot offensively down the stretch. It's going to be Buffalo has also been up and down at times. And I was talking to Gabe about this off the pod. I mean, I think the Jaguars would have the MVP on their team if he had a couple more weeks here and there where he put up some more points. So if T-Law keeps bringing it the way he's been bringing it, he could give Buffalo a lot of nightmares. So, and along with that Jaguars defense, I see the Jags winning this one by, I don't know, touchdown or so.
And I will agree. I think this is going to be a one-score football game. That's where my cap on them from weeks ago will extend and stop. Is I'm not saying the Buffalo Bills are going to smack around the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's going to be a close football game.
Will be probably the closest game out of all of them.
Oh yeah, for sure. The Jags have had their fun blowing out teams and winning games that they're not supposed to earlier on in the season. Now they face the Josh Allen, who is really good. Don't get me wrong. Josh Allen's probably, the best quarterback in the playoffs right now. So you can't really count him out. That receiving core is a thing to worry about, though. And when you go against the Jaguars team, who's put up 30-plus in the past couple of weeks, and you have a kicker on the other side, Cam Little, who could bang a 70-freaking-yard field goal. True. Basically, you kick the ball out of bounds on the kickoff, and they get to the 35. You give them a first down, they're in field goal range.
Cam Little might win the Ballon d'Or in Europe over there, man. He got the golden boot.
Hey, he do, for real. So,
he's honestly, hit 35-yard bangers in the Europa League.
You have a great tandem of backs with Travis Etienne and Tootin. Tootin's been great when he's been in. And then you have BTJ, who's just getting on his feet. Jacoby Myers has always been on his feet in Jacksonville. Parker Washington is going insane. You have a lot of pieces there on offense and then a defense who rallies behind that quarterback. I think the Jags win this comfortably, by a touchdown at least.
Touchdown at least. He's putting his chips on the table. He said,
I'm putting all my chips on the table and I'm shoving them in the middle of the
It's so unfortunate that guy on your shirt can't be there to be.
Man.
And the thing about it is, not only are their receivers better, they would have been an insane receiving core with Travis Hunter. He would have played more defense.
Right.
Yep. Which would have been excellent for their defense because, their secondary isn't the best. But, of course, when you have a player like, Travis Etienne, Travis Hunter, mixing up names. A lot of Travs, yeah. Trevor, like
Mr. Kelly.
But yeah, no, long story short, they're, going to win this game.
And I also will say the Jaguars are going into this game scorching hot, on fire. Jaguars are going into this game on absolute fire.
Yeah.
Hairs are falling off their head, fire all over the place. So, like I said, shout out to the Jaguars. I'm done hating on the Jaguars.
No, you're not.
I didn't hate on. When did I hate on the Jaguars?
Lose.
I said they lose. That's not hating. That's my opinion.
No, don't get me wrong. Your cup is almost full. That little bit there It's really big though.
Quit playing with me, bro. Quit playing with me. Hey, the Bills do kind of suck in the playoffs, so yeah, who knows? Patrick Mahomes isn't around to scare away Joshua Allen.
Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson all ain't around.
None of them. And
you know, his expectations are the highest, but
it's the Bills last season at their old stadium too. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're not playing there, it's like
they're gonna get a new one
there.
It's like Josh has got dad strength now. He's got fine shit that he's married to now. You know what I mean?
He does. Hey, I go.
No Mahomes around.
People play harder when you got them watching you. Feel he ain't gonna mess around.
And the next game we got Sunday at 4:30. We got the Niners versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, if both of these teams are at full health, and the Eagles weren't calling the same plays that they've been calling the entire season long, I feel like this game would be a lot more entertaining. You know what I mean? I'd be way more excited for this football game. Not to say that either team is bad. Obviously not. Both teams Niners were 12-5 this year in a tough division. The Eagles were 11-6 this season. This is another one of those games where I'm like, I don't know, man. I think if the Niners were at full health, I think I would take the San Francisco 49ers, even on the road. But now the fact the Niners, they've just been kind of dealing with injuries all year. Shout out to the Niners for being able to do what they've done this year. But as we were talking about teams going in scorching hot in the playoffs, the Niners Brock Purdy had a great week 2 weeks ago. Last week they didn't look so great versus the Seahawks. I don't really know how to feel. And the Eagles' home field advantage is definitely always real. Unless they stink it up, then they'll start booing them in the second quarter with 12 minutes left. But I'll say for the sake of if I had to pick a team, I am going to take the Eagles in this one. And that hurts me, man. That hurts me. I don't.
Hey, I see what you're doing there. No pun intended. I got you. Good stuff, Gabe.
I didn't even try to do that. Wait, bro. Jerry.
Hey,
was that bars?
Cook it up a little bit over there.
Hey, I didn't even.
That was bars. I didn't even catch that, Jerry. Okay.
We got that knowledge, man.
Jerry's got to be a rapper, too, apparently. But I'm going to take the Eagles in this matchup. I think it's going to be a close football game. I hesitated on that one because I really don't know. I'm interested to hear your guys' opinion on this one, too. I think the Eagles, by a close margin, win this football game.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles are favorites, right? I'm pretty sure they are favorites.
I'm pretty sure they are. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that offense is great when they're getting it moving, and that defense can give Brock Purdy a lot of issues. So that's why I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers to win this game. Christian McCaffrey's going to be on fire. George Kittle's going to be eaten. And that team is probably the best coached team in the whole NFL, and that's why they're in the position that they are with all the players that they have are out. I don't think there'd be many teams to have 12 wins, and you have two of the top maybe 10 players in the whole NFL are out on their team. So I'm going to take the 49ers. I do think it'll be a close game because, like I said, the Eagles' defense could give Purdy a lot of issues, but I could also see Purdy coming out and just hitting a little Dougie, getting into it.
I was this close to pulling out a Dougie, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, no, we're not trying to embarrass ourselves here, okay?
Hey, I'm a good dancer. Watch your mouth, Jerry.
I don't know, bro. You ain't hit it. You scared to hit it.
I might pull one out later. But right now, I can't. I'm going to put this on record right now. If the Niners win this football game, I'll start off the NFL segment with the Dougie next week. Pin it right now.
Yeah. Right. Let's go. But, I think this is going to be a crazy close game, too. Like Gabe, I really don't know who's going to win. Like, it can be an either or. The thing about the Niners, they have two versions of themselves. One is the hurt version who are just tired and they get to the postseason and they just have nothing left in the tank, which they've done for literally every single year since COVID. Like, I don't understand how a team does one singular team gets injury bugged so bad every single year. It's like, I feel so bad for the Niners it happens. But also, they have games where Brock Purdy pulls out a Dougie because he threw for 5 touchdowns and Christian McCaffrey runs for 2. So I don't know what type of 49ers you get. I don't know what type of Eagles you get because the Eagles obviously turned it on last season in the postseason. They had questions going in, and then they just found ways to win, whether it was Saquon going for 150 or, Devontae and AJ getting in there. I honestly think, and I'm like pulling this up right now because I really didn't know until now. Like, I'm just guessing. I'm going to go with Dom and say the Niners are going to squeak it out. Like, they had a bad week last week. That was their bad week. They were playing great defense. They're going to figure it out this week and roll against Eagles team who's still trying to figure it out.
To be fair, too, the last point is that was for the 1 seed. So, like, they were 1 game away from being the 5 seed. So that's kind of
they're a very good football team.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they also did lose that game kind of badly too. They put up 3 points. Like, it doesn't matter how you try to slice it up. 3 points is 3 points. You're not going to win doing that.
Shout out to KT. That's a Big Ten smash mouth football game right there.
For real.
And then we have 2 more wild card games as well. You got Chargers versus the Patriots. That's going to be in New England. And then you got Texans versus the Steelers in Pittsburgh. First things first, we'll leave the Steelers last. We started off with them at the beginning. We're going to leave them last.
They play
Chargers versus the Patriots, man. I might be dropping a little sprinkle here too. I got the Chargers in this football game.
Interesting.
New England, they are a very, very good football team. But I've been talking about for weeks that I still don't know if I can trust them or not just yet. The New England Patriots, they might have the, NFL MVP on their team in Drake May. Very possible, battle between him and Stafford. They're very well coached. They execute extremely well. But one thing that really worries me, and I don't know, we talked about this previously, but the Patriots, they actually have the easiest strength of schedule of any team since 1999. Man, I wasn't even a thought to be born in 1999, brothers. That's the thing to me where I just don't know if I can trust you as far as I can throw you. And the Chargers have had their ups and downs this season as well, but I really do like, the skill position players they have on offense. I think they have an incredible offensive line. They're also incredibly well coached, and their defense performs when it needs to late in games and steps up as well. So I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think this one's going to be a close game as well, but I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Chargers.
And I'm falling right behind you because I'm also going to go with the Chargers here. And it's nothing like Drake May he's amazing, dude. I love Drake May as a player. I think he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league for a very long time. I really do think it's the strength of schedule thing and not being battle tested really at all during the regular season. And when you come up against a team who has been there and done that with some of the better teams, like they play the Chiefs 2 times a year. So regardless of how good the Chiefs have been this year, you still played the Chiefs multiple times a year. It's Justin Herbert. He has a lot to prove. He has to win his first playoff game ever, especially after the last time he went to the playoffs in that T-Law whole he can't let that slide. So I'm going to say just Justin Herbert gets his first playoff win. I do think it'll be closer, but I'll take the Chargers here too.
For the sake of that game that you mentioned, and, for them being up 4 scores against the Jaguars, and then the next time they were in the playoffs, him having more interceptions in that game than he had all season, I think Justin Herbert is going to drop another L right here. Nah, but the Patriots, I completely understand the strength of schedule. You experience a lot of different things in a loss, especially, what you have to fix, what you have to, accept as a defense and as an offense in a loss. The Patriots haven't had to do that a whole lot this year, especially in the division, because they were just so dominant. And, kudos to them. They have a schedule like that. You're supposed to be dominant. But for the fact that they have an amazing 2 tandem running back core, and then you have a receiving core who believes in Drake May like almost nobody else believed in the rookie, or not a rookie, but a 2-year quarterback before, mixed with Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel's a dog, bro. So, I don't think he's gonna let a LA team who's traveling across the country, who plays in LA, has to get used to Foxborough weather. I think they'll be a bit more challenged, a bit more motivated to win against a road team that's hot. Justin Herbert's hot, but like don't get me wrong, like the Patriots gonna win this one for sure. I'll stand alone.
I really want the Patriots to do well as well. Like, again, this is one of those. I'm not even trying to hate, bro. I'm really not. I want.
Stop.
I like the story of the Patriots this year and Drake May coming out of nowhere and Mike Vrabel really turning this team around this year. And like Jerry said, the two running back tandem as well. I'm a big Travion Henderson guy. I love me some Travion Henderson. I think the Patriots are a great football team, but I'm just going to go with the Chargers by a couple points, man. A couple points.
I can't relate with you there because Tom Brady he's just going to make me hate that organization for the rest of my life.
Don't get me wrong. I hate Tom Brady. As Steelers fans, our hate for Tom Brady knows no bounds, right? It was only until he went to the Buccaneers when I started to accept him for who he was. But
he was out there 45
a whole
years
different
old.
person. Whole different person. And if you ever watched First Things First this season, Kevin Wildes, their Gabe of this show, he's been talking about the doorstep to destiny. And, the Patriots might be on the doorstep of destiny. If they win this one, they might be hot too.
We'll see, man. And now the last game, we got, like I said at the beginning, man, we got Dom with the Steelers jersey on, man. We got Jeremiah. Even though he got the Jaguars jersey on.
I got the towel back.
He's a fake Steelers fan.
I got the towel back there. Chill out.
I'm just kidding. But
enjoy Cancun, bud.
Browns have been in Cancun for weeks.
The Browns have been in Cancun since birth for me, bro. It's not. It's never. It is what it is.
You already got the RSVP. They already know who you are.
We got Texans versus the Steelers. This one's going to be played in Pittsburgh. It's going to be the last wild card game of this first round of the NFL playoffs. It's going to be Monday at 8:15 p.m. The Texans are coming into this game extremely hot. They've been great through the second half of the season. I know they don't put up a lot of points on occasion, but that defense is incredible. They practically lead the NFL in every statistical defensive category other than, takeaways like Jeremiah was talking about with the Bears. Texans are incredible. Steelers, they've, again, had their ups and downs, but they're going into this game looking probably the best they've had all season. I know you guys, you're tuning into more games than me, but you'd probably agree with that statement, correct?
For sure, 1,000%.
In conclusion, give me the Houston Texans. Give me the Houston Texans. I am taking the Texans purely because of that defense, man. I'm taking it because of that defense. I think the Steelers' receiving core, there's not a ton of threats in there, man. We know how I feel about the Metcalf dude, DK. Not the biggest defense guy, man. I think Stingley is putting the locks on Mr. Metcalf. And this is not even because I'm a Browns fan. Let me give y'all the rundown, okay? Stingley's putting the lockdowns on Metcalf. I'll give Gainwell a solid game. He'll do all right. He'll do okay. Aaron Rodgers, he'll throw for 220. I'll say he throws for 220. I'll say the Steelers score between 2 and 3 touchdowns in terms of the amount of points. See? Just no hate. But give me the Houston Texans, bro.
There is hate at the end. You know how there's gold at the end of a rainbow? There's hate at the end of your statements.
Give me the Houston Texans, man.
Well, I knew that coming. I knew you were picking the Texans all along.
Yeah.
If you think I'm picking any other way, you got me messed. Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't care who we play. I'm taking them every week because I don't care at this point, I don't even care about the numbers. The aura, the juju.
What aura?
The juju.
His aura.
The Super Mario air punch aura?
Yeah,
what is that?
I win games aura. And that's all I need to know. Because when his back is against the wall and you have to turn out there and go score touchdowns with guys who have 50 catches combined on the year and you go out there and win games. Aaron Rodgers is hot, and I've been saying this for weeks. Get the man hot, and anything is possible. And I'm riding with my Steelers.
Do you guys think I'm a biased guy?
Yes. Pick the Steelers.
Yeah. I was going to say no. Right. Yes.
Listen, Dom's right. Gabe, you are totally wrong, bro. Everything logically wants me to pick the Texans, right? They have 2 all-pro rushers against a 42-year-old quarterback. They have an amazing
Come on, bro. Come on.
They have an amazing secondary. And then, like you mentioned, the only stat, well, this could be wrong, but the only stat that seems like they don't have number 1 in on defense is takeaways. I believe they're number 3. So, with all...
Lag spike.
Yeah, I know.
No, you're good.
No, okay. Not only do they have an amazing defense, they have an offense who's only given up 10 turnovers the entire season. With that being said, I'm taking the Steelers. There's no other way to go, bro. AR8 has been wheeling and dealing. Jalen Warren's been playing crazy. Kenneth Gainwell, team MVP. He gonna lead us again somehow. DK, I don't care how good Stingley is. Barbecue chicken, boy.
No. DK, stinker. He's about to put out 2 catches, 21 yards. Stinker.
Finger licking good. He gotta lick the barbecue sauce off his fingers, bro.
Oh, bro.
And the Jameis Winston.
No, not the let's eat one. You're not eating none of these. Y'all not eating one of these.
Hey,
I know my team not, but y'all team also not eating one of these.